Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Here.
Ms. Gelbaugh.
Here.
Dr. Lewis.
Here.
Mrs. Rankin. Mr. York.
Here.
All right. All right, everybody seen the minutes? Any questions on the minutes? If not, I need a motion and a second to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
Mr. York.
Aye.
All right, we'll accept those minutes. All right, in communications, we'll start with, give me 1 second. Start with Chief Hines. Where's the chief? Oh, there he is. Right there.
He's at the head table.
All right, we got Chief Hines' report, and I want to take 1 second here to call attention to this lovely, lovely letter. I don't know whether you all had a minute to look at this. Apparently, Chief, this was the little party thing that we had behind the municipal building. For Karan, I guess he says his name, is that his name? Last name is Love.
Yes.
Did y'all have a chance to look at that letter?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, this is just great stuff. I'm always tickled to see that, and I just think it's a great thing that we do for members of the community and especially for little kids. Help them on their birthday.
Yeah, we were happy to do that. And like you said in the letter, actually, Mr. and Mrs. Love came in with Curran and his sister, and after the fact, and he said it was the greatest day of his life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's, we were really happy to do that, and it was fun for the officers and the firefighters that were involved in it, and like you said, it's what makes Mariemont, that we can do things like that.
Yeah, it helps make us special, it really does. Any other questions regarding the chief's report? Y'all look the rest of it over? Okay, if you can contact Chief later. All right, from the Assistant Fire Chief Copeland, got his report. Rather concise, rather short this month. Any questions, you can contact Dan. From the Service Department. John, looks like you've been busy here. How's the grass cutting working out?
Well, it's on hold right now
Well, why is that?
because of all the storms we're having to clean up. We just got done cleaning up the one storm on Tuesday of last week.
Yeah,
Wednesday, we were getting all the hangers and that next storm.
Right.
So we're back out cleaning all up. We're hoping to get everything done by Thursday.
okay.
I do have one mower out running right now, just getting a high spot because of the drought.
Right,
Not
right.
really.
Yeah, I know the grass has been a little,
Some of the areas we got the irrigation.
Right.
We're mowing on those.
yeah, okay.
So we'll get back into it once we get going there. Like I said, my only concern is leaf season when that comes up, as far as what we're gonna be able to do there.
Well, I mean, we might be able to get the Minutemen, right?
We'll get the Minutemen to help us with the leaves,
Yeah.
yeah, but not for mowing.
Yeah, okay, okay.
The
Well-
other thing I wanted to say, I wanted to thank Randy and his wife and volunteers who worked over the weekend at Hopkins Park and cleaned out all the flower beds and trimmed all the bushes and stuff like that. It helped us out.
I wondered why that looked so good. I went by there. Yeah.
So we thank them and all our volunteers.
Mary Beth did a
Help
great
out.
job.
It needed some work.
So we're slowly but surely getting the mulching done. We still got to get the path done and Hopkins and Concourse, get that all mulched yet.
Yeah.
So we're
Okay.
getting there.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to John because in the thick of that storm last Wednesday, I was driving home and you were out in the middle of it on Center Street clearing debris.
Yeah, I had 2 more cuts before that sucker hit. Didn't make it. Didn't make it.
But
Yeah.
I was impressed.
So, and then Rick's
That
calling,
was a view.
letting us know that there were 2 trees down in the meantime, so that was kind
And there was one that went across Miami, is that?
of, one across Miami, one over on Indian View, and then we had another hanger on Indian View that we had to get as well, so.
That was scary
Yeah.
stuff.
I think you cleaned 2 of them up here, Crystal Springs, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right
it's
by
right
the
out.
municipal
Yeah.
building.
There's still one more down here I gotta get blocked off tonight. I saw this morning.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So,
Thank you,
wait, wait,
sir.
so any hope, John, that by leaf season, we will have volunteers or more staff to cut? Because we won't be
I
able
don't
to
know
keep
at
up.
this moment, but I'm gonna do another email and see whoever will be available, because things are changing in the fall versus in the summer. Everybody's busy with vacations and different jobs that they got.
You mean
Some of them are
now?
still getting out of paramedic school and stuff, so we'll see.
So we had that
But,
list.
yes, I have 10
So we had a
people.
list, but none of them have done it.
I had 2 that had called to help out in those days that they called and said they could do it. It rained, so we called them off, so I haven't been able to work anything else out.
So is it safe to say that if things maintain the rain, that you can handle it through the summer, but in the fall, when
Fall is gonna be difficult.
you're not gonna,
No.
you're not gonna be able to handle it? Minutemen's not gonna solve the problem.
So,
Well, depending on how many Minutemen are, if we're able to sort of fill it that way. I mean, when leaf season starts, the guys are really doing the routes and
right.
trying
But
to
the
keep up
problem is
with.
you can't have Minutemen driving it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
You still need a
Right.
guy to
Still-
drive.
Right, right,
And with the
So-
amount of leaves we get in the parks and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
it stays out there too far, calls will be coming into
Right.
the office.
right.
So do we need to make sure right now that we have firemen to cut grass for leaf season? Do we need to,
Well, like I said, I can reach out again and see and say, hey, fall's coming up, you know, is there anybody for sure gonna be able to help out or not help out?
Yeah, you mean,
And
we
once they
need them
say
to
yes-
firm up on a commitment,
Yeah.
you know, that they're
Yeah,
actually
So
gonna
once
do
they
it.
say yes, how do we hold their feet to the fire?
So we can see. It'll go from
I
there.
have a question for you. The Minutemen, they help with the leaves and they help with the grass?
They have a landscaping group, but they're
Okay.
not allowed to use
Get it?
mowers or equipment. They do, they have to sign off saying we're not gonna hold them responsible if they damage anything.
Okay.
There were some issues. They also have issues with trying to get people, because they're trying to compete with McDonald's and everybody else that's paying $15 to $18 an hour.
it's tough.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
We usually get 1 or 2 guys that come back every year, because they know our area and they like working in this area. And they like doing the leaves. It's a good exercise. for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
What do
As
we
long as our
currently pay
equipment
again?
holds up, we'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
18? We currently pay 18.
Yeah, we'll pay 22. They pay their employees 18, so.
There's a middleman in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Middle minute.
Yeah, middle minute. Okay.
$4 an hour.
Thank you, John. All right, Tax Administrator, Mr. Burrow. Any questions regarding his report? Looks like the money's rolling in. So far, so good. All right, any questions there?
Nope.
Nope, we good?
Good.
Is there anything that you want to flag for us that's,
I would just say, when we get through July's projection, again, I only use the last 2 years, and 2 years ago, July bid like 700,000, because that's when they were due, the first year of
Right.
COVID, so it makes an anomaly. So we're kind of holding on through July as far as projection, but I feel really good. This, again, I preface this is my first lap through the village. But unless the bond will drop out in the second half, we will meet the 2.6. And we got an outside shot at maybe 2.7. So,
Cool.
thank you.
Okay. Anything else? You good? Okay, permission to address council. Looks like we don't have anyone that wants to stick around and address council. All right, any questions regarding the bills? Everybody looked over the bills? If there are no questions, do we have a motion and a second to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett? Aye. Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right, pay some bills. All right, we don't have any committee reports this week. So going down to miscellaneous, we'll have the budget hearing will be held Monday, July the 25th. That'll be starting at 5:30. Susan?
Noted. I have to be here at 4 for another meeting. But I
Okay.
appreciate the friendly heads up. I deserve that.
A special meeting of council will be held Tuesday, July the 26th at 5:30 to discuss the strategic planning session and summary report. It's a lot of special meetings we got going here. And that's at 5:30 as well. All right. And then we need to have a little moment here to discuss this diversity statement procedure or process. I don't think that we want to get into the weeds here tonight, actually discussing the elements of the statement. We just want to sort of have a little brief discussion here as to how are we going to discuss this? Should it go into a committee, as an example? Should we form a resident group that would work on putting phrasing and words together for us? What are your thoughts?
I agree with you, it should go into some committee of some kind. I just know we've had trouble scheduling things when we have residents, just to get everybody on the same,
Page.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
just
together.
the calendar, the same calendar. and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It's been an ongoing challenge for that.
But I do think a resident group, if we can somehow sort of work to get a diversity in that group.
I think you're right about that, as
Yeah.
opposed to just council, because if you guys have been reading up about the Forest Hills School District, it's
yeah.
really kind of, they're having a lot of problems over there. There are two editorials in the Enquirer yesterday, one in favor of what they did, one against what they did. It's just caused so much division within that particular community, which is kind of sad, because I think the concept of a diversity statement is wonderful, but some people, they push back on it for one reason or another, and then it causes neighbor to hate neighbor. So if you can get a group of residents, citizens, let them voice their opinions and air it out in that type of a forum as opposed to right here in the general council meeting, is the way I look at it,
Well,
But I'm open to suggestions about that. I'm just saying that, man, oh man, they've really got a pickle over there in Anderson.
Yeah, and to your point, it needs to be a public process too.
Oh,
Totally-
absolutely.
totally
Yes,
agree with
yeah,
that.
the
Yeah,
one
gotta be
lawsuit
public.
that was filed was all about it. When I first learned of the lawsuit, I looked it up, because I thought the lawsuit itself was against the whole concept of Diversity Day. It wasn't against that at all. It was against the fact that they
That's how they
didn't
did it, right? Yeah.
follow open meetings law, yeah, so.
What is the timing on this?
Well, I think we would all like to get it done. I certainly would like to get it done, and I think it's a great idea to have a resident committee. Maybe we send out an email and say, we're looking at doing this now, and then assign it to a committee, and, I think we've started a statement. I think do we throw that out? Do we start over? Do we take other municipalities and I don't think it's gonna be that difficult, but I agree that the citizens should be involved.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a good point, Randy. Maybe just, because we did that in the past, we put it on the website or
Some
something
kind
like
of put
that.
a blast out on the website or an email
Yeah.
blast out, basically stating what our intention is and what we would like to do, and see what the response is.
Now, are you saying that to actually create a committee of residents, or just seek their input, like via emails to, mariemont.org, or to actually formally create a committee of residents to do this?
Well,
And if it is just to
I
send an
think
email?
that's an aspect that we're discussing. I mean, that would be a way to do it, yes. I mean, have an actual committee and have them come to council with a recommendation. That would probably be the more open, fair way, I would think.
Yeah.
What would you see as the goal of a diversity statement, Mayor?
Well, it's putting out some type of a policy position or statement about the beliefs of the village. See, this is where it gets to be a problem, in that this is why you really need as many residents involved in this. If the six of us just sit here and kind of come up with something, how do we know who we're really representing, when we
Right.
come out with some of these statements? I think you could really miss the mark, and then you end up with a situation that he's describing.
Yeah,
We
and
don't
that-
want that.
Another thing, when Bill first called me about this, one of the things that the young lawyer that works for me and I talked about is that you do a resolution about, we love everybody, come one, come all, we'll do anything for everybody we can. Then all of a sudden, if somehow, some way we violate our own resolution, are we opening ourselves up to a lawsuit, I think the answer to that is the chances would be very, very slim. And the more important answer would be, everything we do, we're probably opening ourselves up to a lawsuit, because it's such a litigious society that we
And I
live
think
in.
that it's more of a belief statement than to say, oh, we shall do this. It's like, here's the belief statement,
Yeah.
which isn't
Well,
necessarily
would you
hard.
publish it by way of resolution, or just as?
Yeah, no, I would.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, and we're talking about doing a mission statement anyway. So that came out of the strategic planning session. So if we're talking about doing a mission statement now, I think it's perfectly appropriate
To include that.
to do a statement about diversity and inclusion.
I would do it separate from the mission statement.
It'll be
Yeah, I
separate,
agree.
but I think that because we're endeavoring to do that, I think it's appropriate for us to.
So is it intended to be a vision statement?
Sure.
Have any other municipalities around here done something like this, Tina?
Madeira has one.
Do they?
I've seen it on their website.
Okay.
And I have a question. Is there a way that we can involve the school district and the kids that are in the community? Because I think that it's important for our kids to understand what's going on and and after the thing that happened at the pool.
Sounds like Rob brought to my attention last night. I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, we need to reach out to the school districts and let them know that as adults, we're wanting to get something out so that everyone understands what is important to us as residents, and we want the kids to be involved and have
Yeah,
that,
that's a great
even turn
point.
it into a learning experience for them, hopefully, too.
Susan, I would think that probably we would approach it from the idea that, we don't entirely, like, I can't entirely answer your question. And I'm not really sure at this moment there is an answer. Maybe that's something that evolves in the group process as to, what should it be? What are we aiming to do? Where or how's this gonna go?
I guess the question, and this isn't, I don't have an agenda when I'm asking this question, but I think it's important to it informs a process. Because, which is why do we want a diversity statement?
Okay.
Well, I mean, why do we want that? Do we want it to be a vision in which we aspire to? Do we want it to recognize and acknowledge our past so we can move forward? Is it to make it clear to our current residents and new residents that all are included, and that, because if that is the case, if it is, it does make sense. A resolution could be drafted. It's got two parts, right? It's got an educational part and an educational initiative aspect. That's different than a draft of a resolution. So the resolution could be done within this group, and it could call for education and community input around that education. But the resolution itself, the act of drafting it, would not need to be a big process. But the process of what do we, educate on, how do we educate on, what are the types of resources that education calls for, could be a different process, which is why I'm asking, what is our intent with the statement? What are we trying to achieve? Because we could do thousands of man-hours to land on the exact proper language for a resolution,
Right.
which does nothing.
Right.
And that's, all those man-hours have gone. Or we could draft a resolution that calls for collective conversation and then instigate the conversation that way. So that, I don't have a specific, I'm not leaning towards either one, but I would caution you that the wordsmithing process that is community-based is probably not the best use of time when it doesn't result in anything tangible at the end of it.
So to help me understand, so you think it would be good, there's a input to what elements should be included, but when it comes to the actual wording of it, you're saying that's when a smaller group is
Well, there
better
could
for
be a
that?
resolution that calls for community dialogue. And then the community dialogue is facilitated by X, Y, and Z. But then residents are spending all the time drafting language saying, we believe in inclusion, we believe that is a value this community holds dear, and therefore we are, X, Y, and Z. We can spend all that time. I mean, it's going to have a lot of debate, right? Certainly.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Is to keep it as
So-
open and out there as possible,
So,
get as much
yeah.
input as possible.
So do we want to debate around language on a piece of paper that's done, or do we want debate around or do we want to have that debate funneled towards meaningful dialogue around inclusion? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, speaking personally, I mean, you want something meaningful and, you know, actionable to sort of come out of this. I mean, otherwise, why are we
I
doing
don't want
it?
to just sound patronizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I
So,
mean,
should the resolution call for should we draft a resolution that calls for meaningful dialogue and then execute the meaningful dialogue versus creating the meaningful dialogue to inform a resolution? That's the question.
No, okay, that's a good question.
What?
I don't know, I kind of like the idea of a resolution that mandates that we create the dialogue.
With the outcome being.
With the
we have,
outcome, yeah.
Some kind of.
Some kind of statement, yes.
Just sitting here myself, my thoughts are, I sure would like the parents to be the ones that create that meaningful dialogue, you know, so that their children know to do it on their own. And I don't like the idea of government stepping in and telling you, Rob, educate your kids about inclusion and diversity and make sure you do it, by golly.
Yeah.
And again, that's not a legal thing. I just sort of see issues with this that are gonna cause a division in the community, you know, and that's what I don't like.
But I think, I would beg to differ a little bit, because I think as you keep drawing on Forest Park, that's because they're getting into very specific things, versus an aspirational statement, I think it would be hard for somebody to argue for an aspirational statement. It's when you get into actually, okay, now we're gonna do this and this, and you know, we're gonna cancel Diversity Day or whatever type of thing.
Right, no, I
And then all of a sudden that
understand.
creates the huge hubbub type of thing versus they're saying.
Yeah, what Randy prepared originally just as a real rough draft, wasn't it, Randy? I thought that was really well written.
I just stole some from, you know, different.
Yeah, which I thought was great,
statements.
you know. But again, yeah, you guys are asking the question, I'm talking too much, this is your baby. Is it legal to do it? Absolutely.
So
Terry-
maybe our
Terry
first
Gaines told me
step
that years
should
ago.
be then to have a resolution that would incorporate the elements that Susan just outlined?
Well, Leah, you were gonna say something.
Well, I just have a question about, because I remember a couple of years ago that someone mentioned, I mean, have we gone through all of our ordinances and made sure that all the language has been taken out that would be considered discriminatory?
Yeah, as far as I know, we have, yeah.
I mean, should we do
Yeah.
another pass-through about that? Because
I don't think that language was in the ordinances so much as it was in those, what did they call those?
Oh, they were the covenants on
Well, I gotta say,
deeds.
there's a lot of deed restrictions.
Covenants on
It's-
land
Deed
And they're
ownership.
unenforceable, but if you go back on any of your old chains of title, you're gonna see deed restrictions in there that are pretty heinous, really.
And what I was told at the time, because I did some investigation on this, is that when those deeds change, and you might know, I don't know, this is what I was told, is that sometimes the language is changed and sometimes it isn't. It just depends on the person doing the changing, or the changing of hands.
it would just depend on the municipality who was doing it, and they would have to actually have it changed legally. Like if you're transferring, when somebody sells a house and the deed gets transferred, it basically just, they take all of the information and just change the person's name. So it's still the same, it still reads the same way.
But you could have those removed
Yeah.
if you wished to.
Yeah, but you would have to ask to have them removed
Yeah, you have to
legally.
ask to have, they're not enforceable
No,
anyway. I mean,
but,
'cause
yeah.
frankly, there's probably still a lot of restrictions saying that, I think they said Catholics and African Americans can't live here in Mariemont.
And I think that's what it had to do with.
Yeah.
So-
And I don't know if that's still there or not.
I guess.
On some of the properties, it might be, I don't know. It shouldn't be, but it might be.
Okay, so are we going to agree, then what is the next step, the resolution?
The resolution to.
Start a dialogue.
Engage,
Create a committee, or,
Yeah.
I mean, let's have it say something.
Yeah, create a committee, I think we need to do that. with
To
residents
initiate
involved,
dialogue, create a
including
committee to
students.
initiate
Yeah.
Well,
dialogue.
Susan seems to have the best grasp of this. I mean, you
I've done a lot of work in this space. It is not on a municipal level, just to, full disclosure there. So, this is new, but, you know, if you open up to an aspirational statement, you will get a lot of feedback and a lot of hours spent on it. But then it will be done and over with, and then everybody moves on. So the inclination, if what we're trying to do is facilitate some sort of or some sort of dialogue on a community level, I would be inclined to work with Randy to finalize his statement, which I think is pretty general, and add something along the lines of, as such, we recommend that this go to the following committee, I mean, obviously we work with you, to recommend
Well,
a committee
you
and,
mean
or
a
hearing.
resident group, if we're gonna have
Yes,
a
and
group
begin.
of residents that are basically.
Not a council.
Not a council.
Right.
Yeah, but, and then make some recommendations,
Okay.
some ultimate, and so we do a resolution and to form a committee that will make some clear recommendations on how to
Yeah.
Yeah,
further this.
Okay, I think that's,
a
I
good
think
way to
that's
go,
the,
yeah.
I think that's.
And
the
I
step.
think Randy's language was a great baseline for creating that resolution to create
Yeah.
that dialogue. That would be my recommendation. I'm not saying it's,
Because I think it'd be really interesting to put it out there and see how people respond.
Respond to it, yeah, okay.
put what out there when you say it.
Yeah, well, that we're looking into this and, you know, whatever we want to call it, aspirational statement or whatever.
Right.
And then we're forming a committee to do all this. I think it'd be interesting to see
Yeah.
what kind of response we get.
We get it.
So-
And then that could point us in a direction.
Yeah, and I, you know, I'm not worried about division, you know, I think we're hopefully above that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, I can't see,
Yeah.
I may be naive, but I can't see it going there.
No, okay. Well, let's agree then,
But-
that'll be our next step.
I'm not sure, and I apologize that Randy, you and I are on the same page there, because what I'm saying is we create a resolution. The aspirational statement you drafted is pretty, it's general and I think very positive oriented. But then we add to it that we will facilitate a committee that will make recommendations to council on how to further diversity within the village. That versus create another aspirational
So
statement.
do you want to work with the solicitor on preparing the wording for the resolution?
So my recommendation is that I work with you, Randy, to create a resolution that makes a recommendation to create a citizens committee that will develop concrete
Yeah,
recommendations
I think that's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
I think.
versus
Yeah.
an aspirational statement. The aspirational statement you have drafted, and I think it's pretty darn close to what we need.
So
That-
you guys are going to
Okay.
get the resolution together?
Does that,
I'm in.
okay, sorry, it's slightly nuanced.
That's what I was gonna say, is like, why don't you two get together?
Okay. All right, ordinances. I think we only have two.
Yes, two. First one, to enact new section 151.094 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances pertaining to synthetic grass.
Okay, this is the third reading. I need a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right, that'll be adopted. Tony?
To amend section 79, schedule 1 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances regarding no parking on west between Thorndike and Madisonville Road.
Okay, this is the second reading. I mean, I think we've already had a lot of discussion about this. Do you have additional discussion?
Well, just the wording, so when I look at the resolution, again, I think we're all agreed on what outcome. So like the sign, it talks about what the sign will say specifically. No parking here to corner from Madisonville. I don't think we're gonna say from Madisonville, right? It's just gonna say from here to corner. Most of our signs just say from here
Right.
to corner and point to it.
Yeah, I don't think it says Madisonville.
No, but look at the wording in the actual legislation,
Oh,
in
yes,
quotes,
I see
says
what
it's
you're
gonna
saying.
say from Madisonville. So
Yeah.
I think we wanna strike that, right? Because it's not gonna say that on the sign.
Right.
It's just gonna say from here to corner, in an arrow pointing.
Yeah,
So that's not what the legislation, I just wanna clean this up.
Okay, so we need a
and
motion
actually,
second.
Rob,
Oh, wait, I'm not done.
sorry.
Oh, no, but go ahead.
I don't think it's 30 feet, I think it's 25 feet.
Yeah, I know, but we are
We are gonna do
creating
30
a
feet.
slightly larger
Okay,
space, so that
okay.
when somebody rounds that corner.
Okay, I'm
and-
just
and
checking.
we, you know,
So
we
we're
don't
gonna
want 'em-
replace the current signs that say 25 to, and we're gonna replace
The
them with.
25 is down at the stop
the
sign at the
Thorndike,
end.
yes.
Yeah, that stays.
Okay.
The other one, the 30 feet thing, is that
It's
from
Madison
Madisonville.
Road, okay.
I think that's why the wording was put in, Rob.
Right,
so
right,
that there's no-
but on the
Right,
sign
right.
itself, it
We
shows
don't
this,
want
that
the
it's gonna
sign,
say on
yeah.
the sign
Right,
itself,
right,
it's gonna
right.
say
Yeah.
from Madisonville, and you don't want the sign to say that, you just have an arrow.
It just says, it's gonna just say
From here to corner.
Here to the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sign will be in the ground, and it will be 30 feet in from the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I believe is already there.
Yeah, so, and then the other thing is, so we get specific about saying that's a new sign that's gonna go put in. We don't say anything about the new sign that's gonna say no parking school days from 7 to 9 or 3 to 5.
Well, those are on order already.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but the ordinance doesn't say
Say.
that. So we get specific about adding a sign that says here to corner.
We have two from here to corner.
Right.
On each, and then there's two, if you were over there, there's the post is already there.
posts are there, I know.
Yeah, and it'll say on school days from 7 to 9 and 3 to 5.
Right, so I'm just wondering, because we put in quotation marks what that one sign's gonna say.
Right.
Are we just leaving it open? Because we are putting those other signs in. I agree with you, the posts are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
signs aren't
So
actually
we just,
different.
so it's inferred. We know that the other sign will say, no parking, school days.
Well, yeah, as it says right here, in the ordinance, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's spelled out here, yeah, and the signs are coming,
Okay.
they're, you know.
So let's just then strike out from Madisonville,
From
it's in
Madisonville,
quotes.
right,
'Cause
right.
It's not gonna say it on the sign.
Right,
Okay.
So,
that's exactly what I did. Good job.
All right, well, that was it, like I said, that was the second reading, we'll have the third reading then. Oh, do we need now, okay.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown? Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Dr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right. It will be amended. All right, do you want to do the task
Yes.
list? Do you have
Task.
time?
Okay, Bill, did you want to put the thing in the
Oh, yeah,
committee?
yes, thank you. Yeah, we're going to put into Marcy's committee the business about amending part of the zoning code as was discussed here earlier today. Yeah. and I
Sort of
do-
like just a general cleanup almost, like inconsistency, getting
Yeah.
consistency. And
I know, but we want to go to
Lot of
work
work.
immediately on specific items.
Well, I mean, I'm not doing the whole code, I'm starting with that part.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what you said?
The zoning.
But
I
I'm
think-
sure Rod has got a lot of other
But,
things.
well,
Oh,
he
yeah.
does, and I think that we can prioritize what have been problems.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it'd just be based on what comes before the ARB and
Yeah,
all
but,
this.
so.
But this one's gonna be, I'm gonna fast track this.
Okay, so, I mean, I think we ought to have something as an ongoing, especially with somebody as good as Rod in there right now.
Yeah.
I think we ought to have an ongoing cleanup effort, right? And that's,
Yeah, Marcy.
we shouldn't wait till it comes up in ARB.
I know,
So-
he has a list.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
well, that's what I'm just saying. So-
He's been haven't you and him been having the dialogue? Or, yeah,
On zoning code?
No.
not on zoning code, okay.
Well, Rod and I have.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
this
right,
is well
well,
underway.
that'll be part of my ongoing new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Review and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I-
but we'll start with this.
Right,
Okay.
right. But it's just gonna
And
be on
Rod and I will
something.
develop a process and a priority list.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, quickly on to the task list. The financial recap to council community, that's me. I've already discussed that every time. Well, Richard Ford is, our new, we have to give him time to get his feet wet and get into it. He's
So when
working
he-
on
when he-
that.
When he does it, can he also, because this was looking at 2021. Can he also do a mid-year 2022 to give us his perspective on that? Since we've now got 6 months into the year?
Probably. Yeah,
I think it would be helpful.
we can, Okay, we'll ask. Okay, finish work on the Murray Path, submit invoices to ODNR for reimbursement. Chris, where are we?
Just waiting for more costs to come in. We have to do the striping, and the rehab contract will start, late this month. And then I'll have a price for that, and I can submit that for ODR.
Okay.
I guess we're on schedule with that October 22.
Yeah, okay. Boathouse roof repair, that is kind of, I see my name down there. It's funny how my name goes down on all of these things. That's kind of on hold temporarily because, as I explained before, we're sort of, I'm waiting to collect some of the stone tile off the old church roof that we
Right,
hopefully can
right.
use in the repair of the boathouse. And until I sort of have that collected, and I have to get, John has to help me with that because we got to get a big lift over there. These things are very heavy. They're crated, but that's
Well, that's right,
that's
October.
where I am in
Yeah,
that.
it says October, so.
Okay. The fire hydrants, Randy?
Second week of August, John, on the fire hydrants? I think that's what Dan told me.
Okay. Well, we're waiting on wherever he's running the machine from, when he can get that happen. I'll be out of town, so.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got highway funds to do that. We don't have funds to do the rest of them.
Yeah, those are just the ones on Winter Pike then, right?
Yeah. It's 12 of them, Randy?
17.
Or 17, so it's 17. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Assessing parks, what needs to be fixed?
I've got
Potential
a
grants.
document that I've been circulating. I'll send it out probably next week. You do know that, I think everyone here knows that for the Centennial, there's plans for Dogwood and Dale Park and Hopkins Park. So, it's just really filling in the gaps of those remaining parks and what happens. And John knows this. Martin Kepke was with us yesterday to look at Hopkins and just doing some minor things to Hopkins Park. And I think he had some really good ideas. So I think the idea is to get that in a document, get it to the park board, get it to preschool parents group, get it to all these other stakeholders and get input. But trying to get input from everyone else and putting it all together has been challenging.
I tell you, Randy, though, that latest rendering that you sent around,
That's pretty cool,
oh,
isn't
it's
it?
pretty
That's
cool.
neat.
Yeah, I mean, that is really, really looking good. Really, I mean, I so hope we can pull that off.
Well, that's my next one. As far as the grants, I met with Hatton today. We've probably got 15 different grant applications in process.
Yeah.
You get, you know, we're learning every day.
Yeah.
We get a couple of them, and you know, I think that it could be a good domino effect and things can
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
But
good fall.
again, whether we get there or not, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
Yeah. Well, conceptually, it looks like
Well,
really
if
good
nothing else,
stuff.
we'll walk away with really nice plans.
Yeah.
You can frame them and sell them.
We put them up.
We'll put them up out there
What
downstairs.
could have been.
Right, we could have done this.
Plant Vision 2052.
All right, swimming pool list of activities, well, that's ongoing, it's still ongoing. The fixing the leak thing, that's definitely ongoing. Three-year master plan pool facilities. You know, I think we're gonna be shifting the pool now into Aaliyah's committee. She's gonna be basically taking over activities at the pool, overseeing the pool and the pool commission. Randy has way too much stuff on his plate. There's too much activity and other things going on with the pool that I believe needs more immediate attention, and she has graciously volunteered to do that, and I think that's what we're gonna do.
Well, from what I've heard, she's been doing a great job with the stuff going on there already, so I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
But you did tell her beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
No.
Hey, Bill, before, the fixing the leak, I hate to say it, the fixing the leak, you've done the most work on this though, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
fixing like I, in the.
So I know, but your name should be there then, right? It's
I
blank.
think
It is.
Oh,
It
it's
is.
blank.
It's
Oh.
blank.
All I vision is like that Dutch boy, you know, with his finger in the leaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just put, I'll just put
Where's
Dave's
Bill?
down.
Down
now.
at the pool.
Down at the pool.
Down at the
with his
pool.
finger in the hole.
I know, I know.
Can I- So, Randy, you're still working on the 3-year master plan?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
they wanted to get through, because of going to a third party, they wanted to get through this year in
What is the state of things, the current state?
It's not good.
Of the, I'm not sure, I'm
Of the
not sure
pool.
what you're asking, of the
the
contract, you mean
pool.
when the existing current contract comes up?
Of just the current state.
How it's
of-
operating, you mean, sort of.
Mhm. Do we have enough lifeguards?
Oh,
No.
no,
No.
no, yeah.
We're not even sure they have enough chlorine.
Awesome.
Again,
great.
partially why we're shifting this over to Leah, who can really, you know, get hands-on down there and
Okay.
That'd be great.
try to
I
get
think
hold of
that's a
things.
great move.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Rob, backfill replacement for fiscal officer, I think basically.
That's done.
That's
So that can
done.
come off.
That can
That
come
can come off
off.
the list.
How about
Sorry,
that?
One thing.
We actually get something off. Relaunch the rental inspection program. Well, we had it's
Done.
basically done. We had a meeting where we tried to basically bring in some of the landlords, you know, to sort of explain the launch and our intention and stuff like that. The turnout wasn't spectacular, but, you know, we did have it. And actually, I thought the response from that group was
Yeah, we
actually
got a volunteer.
very, very positive.
We got a volunteer
We got a volunteer
to do our
to
first
start some of the first
We
inspections.
have a rental inspection program in the
Yes.
Village of Mariemont.
Okay, so we can take that off.
Can I ask a question about that? So that's great, I think that's fantastic. What about the outside of the buildings?
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Huh?
No,
That's part of the
it. That
inspection.
would
Is
be-
it, but I mean, but
Is
you don't
it
have to
what?
wait, is there something we can do so we don't have to wait till there's a rental inspection turnover? You know, it makes it sound like there's an opportunity, and again, I forwarded to you two guys about OML and this whole, the state of Ohio is gonna double the amount of tax credits available for historic building rehabilitation in 2023 and 2024, and then it goes back to its normal level. So there's a window. I'm just wondering if there's a way that we can try and partner with some of these people, because again, I think we all think that there's an opportunity to make that a nicer area over there.
Yeah.
And if we can partner with them to help them get these tax credits for updating their historic buildings, I think it would be a great thing.
One of the ways, to answer your question, Ron, would be something, and was mentioned here tonight, it's called the International Property Maintenance Code. And that's an extensive code about properly maintaining rental properties, so on and so forth. And, you know, we would have to go through and do some evaluations on any particular property that we felt was out of compliance with that maintenance code. And then letters would be sent and suggesting that they bring it into compliance, and then you take it from there.
And this is this external part, or is it
Yeah,
actually
this
going in? Okay.
well, I'm sure it's the entire structure. But I mean, obviously, from an observational point of view, you're gonna see properties that clearly need some attention. And you could cite certain segments of the code, and basically send letters, you know, requesting that they bring the property up.
But are you asking, should we partner with property owners to potentially get funds to help them renovate the facade?
I think.
For in 2022, or 2023 and 2024?
Yeah,
Is that what you're-
again, well, first is, show them, hey, if this is not in code, and then the second thing is, so there's the stick, and then here's the carrot, about, look, there's these tax credits gonna be doubled for the next 2 years for rehabilitating historic structures, and actually lists multifamily buildings as part
It
of
would be a
that.
good opportunity to basically, once a letter would be sent suggesting, you know, a code violation.
Yeah, that's
to
what I was
be
gonna say. is
To
that
be
that-
able to
give
follow
them
up.
information and.
Yeah, to follow up that there could be, you know, money available to help you
But
do
I
it.
think I know what type of tax credit. I don't know this type of tax credit.
Yeah.
But it would be, somebody would have to pull everybody together and apply collectively. They wouldn't apply as an individual. They could if they had if they owned a lot of property, but they wouldn't get, without a lot of property, they wouldn't get the points they needed to get the tax credits. Now, that's for a different type of tax credit housing, but I don't know. So it would be that essentially, I would think we might have to be the convener to be able to, and get all of these people to sign on to be able to tap into that. Is that what you think?
I don't know. I'll be honest.
I think we act as a facilitator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we, to your point, are we the facilitator? Are we the organizer? Do we package it?
Yeah, we
You know,
have-
because we've got Mariemont things going for us, National Historic Register and so forth,
Right.
that I think can give us some clout. And we
In
just,
points, right,
we
it's
just
all
need to
about
figure
points,
out,
yeah.
you know, do we have the appetite for this? And I think we do, you know, because what we
Yeah.
are doing,
Yeah.
we're putting our efforts towards improving private property. And you know, do we have an appetite for that or not? And I think we do, if it's tax credits and things like that, and improve the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had this 2 days ago, so. we
Yeah,
haven't
I
had
just
very
sent it to you
long.
guys. I mean, we just
Yeah.
came out on Friday
Yeah.
from OML, so I think we should capture it somewhere though too, to say, if we have the appetite, to your point, Randy, to try and figure out how best to take advantage of this doubling of historic building tax
How
credits,
do we submit
rehabilitation.
a project that would get enough points to get the money?
Yeah, so again, I think we should add it to the task list, because we got a
And-
window
yeah.
here.
And we've initiated this dialogue with all the property owners. We have a master list of all of them. You know, it hasn't been pleasant so far because but I think this was the other part of it. We told them from the very beginning, we want to be your partners in this.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think this,
And that we're-
you know, this may be another way we demonstrate
Yeah.
that partnership.
Right.
So I have no problem with
Yeah.
putting this together and seeing if there may not be any legs to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
Would-
worth a shot.
I mean, I don't want to, I will, if you want to put my name next to this, what I could do is call the folks I know that do tax credits and see who specializes in this, and if they could help inform us on, would we have to be the convener, how this particular tax credit program works at the state. I can be on task for
Sure,
at
I
least
mean, anything
reporting
that
out.
gets us moving along here
Okay.
to better understanding of how this would work.
All right, Jen,
Yeah.
put my name on
And
it.
Put her name down.
Okay.
Yeah, take my name off. Okay, batting cage, Randy?
Nothing on that yet. They've
Nothing
still
on
got
that
it
yet.
back there. They haven't been able to find anybody to finish it.
Okay. Hey, do we still have all those rolls of the?
Oh, my word.
It's all kind of sitting back there, okay. That's-
So that's another one, we're gonna have to, it's 4th and 40, we're gonna have to punt on that, I think. Well, I'll find out.
Okay.
Let them roll it.
You need heavy equipment to unroll it. It's heavy as hell.
Good
Yeah.
punch list.
All right, walking path, Whiskey Creek, Mrs. Rankin.
Yeah, so we were just looking at getting some quotes on fixing the one part closer to the street that has the most blockage, I guess, for lack of better
Yeah, I'll
term.
meet with Evans tomorrow to get a quote, explain the work and get a quote, and then I'll
Okay.
send the second one. And
Okay.
I'm in touch with EPA about how to do it and everything, so we're moving forward.
Oh, good,
Cool.
good.
Great.
I'll give you a heads up probably next week or so. I might need probably you to call the railroad or Bulkmatic to say we're gonna be blocking that driveway to do the work.
Sure,
So,
sure, yeah.
Just to give them a heads up. that
Okay.
We'll need that kind of access.
Is this down, you mean where it goes under the tracks and all?
Yeah.
Way down
Yeah.
at the far
Yeah,
end?
yeah.
Yeah, that massive blockage and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
where we're starting.
Yeah. Well, gee, I want to see that. That's a mess down there.
Mm-hmm.
Parking lot light issue. Admittedly, this is a little backburnered here because the trees are out now in full leaf. I don't think it's, you know,
Margaret said you reached out to her and she hasn't reached out back out, so.
well, yeah, but I've been letting it slide here just a little. I'll admit to letting it slide because I know the trees are out and it's probably not an issue. I have not forgotten about it and we will be taking it up.
And in your defense, I think it's, now the onus is on the resident at this point. She's got a lot going on, so I
Okay,
think she knows
okay.
that she needs to reach out to you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I'll remind her.
Yeah, okay.
She's in a good space, so.
Yeah, okay. The Porsche Rally, Randy and I had a very nice kind of conference phone call. When was that, Thursday last week? Thursday of last week. We're moving it along. It's definitely going to happen. We're working out particular details, you know, we're trying to make the event this year better and bigger than it was last year. We want to get more merchants involved, you know, we want to get more, you know, we want to get food down on the square, all kinds of stuff we're talking about.
Cool.
So, yeah.
They're gonna pay for the traffic.
And they will
Well,
be,
that-
yes,
yeah,
they will be
that's
paying
the
for
million,
parking.
bless you. That's $1 million question.
No,
9/17.
yeah, it's.
September 17th?
That's a Saturday, yeah.
It's gonna be kind of a Oktoberfest theme, and could we get the Oompa band?
Yeah, can we get that
Oompa.
band? Can we get that band?
There you go.
Do
It's all coming
What
together.
kind of trucks do you want for food?
Oh, no, we don't want, no, we're gonna use our own people on the square. We're gonna use the Emery, we're gonna use the
Oh, okay.
Bistro, we're gonna use the
That's even
Exemplar, the deli. I mean, I want local participation here. I'm trying to trump business for these
And
guys.
you've already told them about it. That's-
No.
You need to tell them.
Well, they're supposed to give us we're getting a one-pager together at some point.
Oh, from the,
From the,
Well,
Porsche folks?
definitely, we will be talking to them, yes.
Yeah,
we're
But
supposed to
that's
have,
not that
we'll have
far
that.
off.
I know,
we'll
I
have it
know.
this week.
Yeah.
We'll have it this week.
Yeah, we'll have it. Okay, the Duke wooden poles, boy, there's a situation. I know that you corresponded with Mrs.
Balance.
Fallon. You supplied her with some additional contact information,
Yeah.
and that's all I know about it. I know she's attempting
Yeah, she hasn't
to,
responded yet, but I gave her 2 emails, one with two contacts from Cincinnati Bell and one contact from Duke Energy.
Okay.
And the last correspondence I had with both of them.
okay,
So
cool.
okay, cool.
she could help us out.
Yeah, maybe she can help us out, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe. Right.
When was the last correspondence you had with them, just out of
So,
curiosity?
Mine was July 5th, just, a week ago.
Okay.
Cincinnati Bell, for some reason, brought it up June 28th, and I hadn't corresponded with them until September of last year. So I don't know what pushed it, but. she was
Okay,
there and
so
contacted
somewhere
me.
between September last year and June, Cincinnati Bell's like, we'll reach out.
Wait a
Gotcha.
minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rob, you want to add?
Well, yeah, because we had the audit committee report that we all got, remember? And so there was some follow-up steps in there that Richard's working on. I just want to make sure that we close that loop, with the audit committee to show them that, yes, that work has been done. So can we just add audit committee follow-ups as an item here?
Okay.
On the task list?
Yeah.
Was Richard putting together something, you mean to?
Well, or just, yeah, because actually, again, if you recall, the recommendation from the committee was that they, that he share with you to say, here's what I've done to fix it, and got, all that kind of stuff to show the items have all been addressed, because there were a lot of items, that rolled over, so we need to
Yeah.
make sure they all get closed out.
Who's the person?
Rob is the person for that.
That's fine. Yep, put my name and Richard's together. We'll put them together. Yep.
put my name down.
No, that's fine, I told you.
Can we have power on this island?
Power on the island, yes, it's ongoing. I am working on power on the island, yes.
Power on the island.
We want to electrify the island.
I'm like, what are you talking about, Gillian?
No, Clark Griswold is working on this one.
Okay,
Oh.
we're adjourned.